it started off with this idea that I would go and I would, you know, I guess create videos and engage with people and talk to folks and really, just see where this YouTube journey, would go, where this online, situation would transform into whatever it's going to transform into. And throughout, things have turned out to be the way, that they, I guess that they have been. You know, sometimes there's ups and downs and things like that, and it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to be stressed out trying to deal with different things and stuff like that, and trying to, you know, basically figure it all out as far as the whole YouTube journey or whatever the case may be. But I guess this applies to anything in life, that people may go through or people may face and stuff like that. You know, it comes down to a point when things don't make sense and you wonder why, or, you wonder how, you know, you question things, you doubt. And I tell folks out there, when things just seem, you know, desperate, when things seem dismal, Sunshine Cooper, what's going on? Good morning to you. When things seem destitute, when things seem like they're not going to work out and go your way, when things just seem like they're going to fall to the wayside, let's eat dinner from Philippines. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. I'm afraid to go out to the Philippines. Yeah. Oof, so many beautiful women out there. But yeah, um, it comes to a point where when things don't go the way that you may have planned, or the things that things may fall to the wayside and not formulate the way you want to, you know, it's important to remember your why. Hello, Margie. Thank you for coming through. I think a lot of times we as people forget why we started on the journeys that we started on, be it a journey of self transformation, be it a weight loss journey, be it something to take care of our families and stuff like that. It's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get distracted. You know what I mean? It's easy to just get caught up in things that don't mean anything. As far as other people's opinions, sometimes our own opinion. I'm not saying our own opinion don't mean anything, but sometimes it's not the most important thing. You know, because in remembering why, you realize what you came to do. A lot of times people forget, why they started on certain things. They forget what they came to do and the particular things that, people have inside of them. I believe that each day we wake up with a particular purpose. It's not just for nothing. Even you being here on this live stream, whoever you are, whoever may come, whoever may not come, whoever may see this, in the replay. Mm. I believe there's a reason why we wake up each morning. And I believe that we're tasked with things to do. I believe there's things in our heart that we want to do. Now the question is whether or not we will do those things. The question or not, is whether we'll rise to the occasion, meet the challenges and face the obstacles, that are set before us. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But in those obstacles, in those challenges, in those situations, it's important to remember why. The why gives us that motivation. You know, it gives us that remembrance of the fact that we can, push forward. The fact that this is not for nothing. Like I said, for me, even with these YouTube videos, I remember why I started on this journey, why I keep uploading videos, why I seem like I'm here just talking and rambling on and going on about stuff. It is to communicate and connect with you, the audience, but also too, it is to, you know, gain some financial, standing with it and create other opportunities moving forward. Things may not always turn out the way that you would like them to, but it doesn't mean it won't turn out the way it's supposed to. And I think that's what people fail to realize, even with remembering your why. Sometimes people, get disinterested because things may not go the way that they particularly like, but just because it doesn't go the way you particularly like doesn't mean, you're not transformed by it. I believe that we're transformed by the journey, not so much the destination. The destination is the destination to where we're going, regardless of whether we get there or not. but I think it's the journey of transformation in each day, in each conversation, in each encounter, in each thought, in each feeling that leads us to where we need to be, you know. And I think we cheat ourselves if we don't go through that journey of transformation, if we don't become and grow and challenge. Like I was saying last night in my or in my last vlog, not vlog, live stream, you know, it is important to question, argue, explore, you know, to debate, you know, I mean, life and you know, be challenged and challenge ourselves. I mean, and what I'm talking about right now is the more of the questioning and exploring part. And I ask you, do you, you know, question? Do you explore? Do you really modestly self-efface? Do you examine yourself? Do you look in the mirror and ask yourself the tough questions? Or does somebody else have to ask you the tough questions? Or do you just shy away from the whole thing in totality? You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes we have to be willing to face ourselves. And a lot of times in life, we miss out because we're not really willing to face ourselves. When we try shortcuts, it never works out. Yes, I agree, Margie. And as there's a saying that I came up with, it was I was joking one day. I said sometimes you take so many shortcuts, right? You take so many shortcuts that you wind up going in circles. I'm going in a straight line, and then I say, okay, let me take a shortcut. Then I try to go in another straight line. Let me take another shortcut, and then take another shortcut, and then you basically going in circles because you're constantly trying to take shortcuts instead of going straight for what it is that you want. Instead of saying, you know what, it'll take the time that it takes. You know, it'll be the obstacles that come. You know, whatever the ridicule that comes. You know, like with me. You know, I mean, I've had people make fun of me about being on YouTube. I've had people laugh at me. I had people tease me and ridicule me like we were in high school, and I'm a grown man. You know, and you say to yourself, you wonder what's going to happen when you keep going and you get more successes and you get more notoriety, you know, and you keep taking this thing seriously and you keep growing as a person and you keep pushing and you keep, you know, shout out to Tosh Time, and you keep just progressing daily and doing what it is that you have to do, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, who was anybody to tell you that you can't accomplish what you set out to accomplish? Who is anybody to tell you that it won't happen? You know, who's to tell you that your why is silly? You know, I mean, people can tell you these things, but who are they? You know, they don't know you. They don't know what's going on. You know, patience is a virtue. I do agree with that, Marty. But see, the problem a lot of times when it comes to patience and people is that people give up on patience. You know, people lose patience. You know, but it is a virtue. You know, if you can have patience, but the important thing is to have patience and actually work at the patience, work while you have the patience for what it is you're waiting for. You know, you work while you wait. You know, if there's something that you're waiting on and then you want to happen, you know, then you still put in the pieces together and plant seeds for other things to grow. It's almost an agricultural thing. It is an agricultural thing. It's biblical as well. You know, there's the seed, there's the time, there's the harvest. You know, so your seed is the work that you're putting in and stuff that you're doing right now, and then the time is your patience, and then the harvest is what comes. And sometimes the harvest isn't for you. Sometimes the harvest is for somebody else. You know, for those grandparents out there, for those parents out there, for those, you know, older folks out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're putting together pillars, you know, of strength, of life, of love, you know, of financial wealth and health or whatever for future generations. Hopefully you teach them and pass on the lessons and everything that you need to the next generation. And it won't be easy because there's obstacles. There's obstacles that and things that we face within ourselves. There's things I face within myself. You know, there's demons you fight and insecurities and faults and flaws that you fight with and struggle with on a regular day, you know, daily basis or whatever the case may be. So, you know, it does become that, you know, and in that it's important to remember your why. Mm. And sometimes, hey, what's up, Molly 1K Dolly? Live from Chicago, it's Molly 1K. Yeah. And in remembering your why, you know, like I said, it can push you and motivate you to where you need to go. You know, like I said, it's just like, you know, why would you choose to relocate to another place and start over? Or, you know, why would you choose to, you know, get married a second time? Or why would you choose to, you know, start up a second degree or learn a new language or whatever the case may be? You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, self-doubt isn't human nature, Margie, but self-doubt doesn't have to be your nature. You know, it could be something that comes there, but it's something that If you're wise, if you're smart, you constantly, fight. You fight against the urge to doubt yourself. Fight against the urge to count yourself out, because our worst enemies is not other people. It's not other outside forces. It's like Shakespeare said, the fault lies not in our stars, but in ourselves. In ourselves. You know, and that's just like really one of those things where, how do you overcome that? How do you, fight past and push past that? And I say, this is my opinion. I say you remember what it is you came to do, why it is you came to do, how it is that you're making it happen, you know, and you know who you're trying to become, at the end of this journey, and you look at your progress. I think sometimes we don't take the time out to really take a look back and see how we've progressed, in our particular journey, you know, if even only incrementally, you know, you make steps in the right direction, then that is something. Because one piece builds upon another, and then another, and then another, and then another. You could say, okay, I only moved one step today. I moved 2 steps back. I moved 3 steps forward. I moved 1 step back. I moved 5 steps forward. Okay, but you still move forward, and you still have, a staircase now. You still have something to build upon. So once you create one set of stairs, you want to try to create another set of stairs, and then another set of stairs until you reach a new level. It's I think it was, I don't know if it's Einstein or whoever it is. I forgot who said it. They said, well, I think it's Einstein said the ideas of the lower level can only be understood from a higher level. So you understand things looking back. Or sorry, Voltaire saying, um, life can only be lived forward but seen backwards. Sometimes you have to just move forward, and you be able to understand things as you're looking back at them, and you're understanding it, just from a different level, from a you know from another understanding. Yeah, and it is learning basics, Margie. It is learning the basics. It's learning the basics of just how to go about your business, just to how to live, how to just go through the process, understand that no matter what you do, there's going to be obstacles. It's like many times I've told my mother, I said I could be sitting in a chair over there and the door is behind me. If there's things in the way, there's obstacles in the way, it'll take me longer to get to the door. But if I'm willing to get through the obstacles, move some clothes out the way, put up the ironing board, and kick a shoe out the way, take out the garbage, cut off a light, make sure no wires are exposed. Eventually I'll get to the door, and I'll get to another level, another situation, another realm, another thought thought pattern, whatever that is. And the thing that I tell people is that we're supposed to face obstacles in this life. We're supposed to, have our trial through fire, our trials and tribulations. They form us. They help shape us, almost like a refiner's fire, because sometimes, we come out into the wilderness, into the wild, into the world, unlearned, unaware, uninitiated to the things that's going on. And there are times when you have to understand, there's so much that we need to learn in this life. There's so much that helps us on where we need to be and where we're going. So many changes in the world has an impact on our hearts. Exactly. And these things have an impact on our hearts, not just physically, but I guess metaphysically, spiritually, morally, however you see it. It does have an impact on us, and that's something I encourage people to explore. And thank you for the thumbs up. I forgot to ask for the thumbs up. Thank you for the 4 people that's here in this conversation. This is actually a deeper conversation than last night. I didn't expect it to get this deep, but yeah, I just kind of thought about it. And thank you for the 3 people that are still here. I appreciate you. I won't be on too much longer. I promise you. I'll be on long enough to make an impact. That's how I feel about that. You know, because I do got to go to work myself. I got to do some things out there dealing with MTA, more obstacles. But it is what it is. Peace, love, blessings, all that, all that. Yeah, but like I said, it's easy to forget. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it for folks and say that you know it's not it's not an easy thing to forget where you're going or what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. And I say to folks out there, keep reminders of it. If you have to write down a note, if you have to post a picture up somewhere, if you have to have conversations with people that you love and that you care about, or whatever the case may be, just take the time out to remember. Just take the time out to let your memory be your guide as far as to, why you're out there, and what you're trying to do and how you're making it happen and whatnot. And don't be ashamed to look back and say, wow, I've accomplished so much, in X amount of time. It may not have been what I wanted it to be, but it was important for me to do. And your channel and your points always interesting and food for thought. Well, thank you, Margie. I mean, it makes it easy when I have people who are engaged. It makes it easy. It makes it enjoyable when I have people that I'm able to conversate with, even if I can't see you or whatever the case may be. But like I said, I try to have engaging conversations because I know there's people out there who want to have these type of conversations. It may not be everybody, it may not be, all the time, but I know there's people out there who really want to have, thought-provoking, interesting conversations. They want to, say, wow, you know what? This is a departure, a break from the nonsense, a break from the drama. Not to say I don't have my fun live streams, not to say I don't talk my stuff. I talk my trash. I do. But, like I said, I'm not here just to talk trash. I'm not here just to go on about nonsense and whatnot. It happened and it has happened. But that's another story, But yeah, nah, I appreciate that, Margie. Thank you. And I thank you, Molly Dolly, and whoever else is there, whoever's lurking in the background. I appreciate you as well, But I just, like I said, I'm just, being real. It's important to remember why you do what you do. Yes, Molly Dolly, I appreciate you. More than you know, Molly Dolly, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. You're a great supporter of the community. I missed you when you were gone. It's all good, though. I don't, but it's just, I don't, I try to tell anybody that will listen right now in this particular live stream, anytime you feel discouraged, anytime you feel down, anytime you feel dejected, stressed, just ready to quit. Remember your why. Be motivated with the reasoning for what you started your journey and what you wanted to do this thing. Just know, in whatever you're trying to do, hopefully in a positive way, that you'll be transformed, by the end of your journey. You'll be transformed negatively or positively depending on the choices that you're making each day anyway. But just know, whatever journey, whatever mission, whatever goals, whatever situation that you're trying to take on, at the end of it, you will be changed. You will be different. You'll either be better or you'll be worse for it. That choice is up to you. You know, but I tell folks out there, don't be afraid. To face life. Don't be afraid to be honest with yourself. Don't be afraid to see truth. In what exists. Don't. Because it's out there regardless if you face it or take it on or not. There's some things out there that, like I said, you need to see. There's some things out there that you need to do, you know, and why not you? Why not you be the person to accomplish, something wonderful, something beautiful, something great, something impactful, something life changing, something that, just reaches a generation, something that people look back on and say, wow, this person helped me. Life makes us get back up no matter what. It's our choice with what we do with our goals. I agree, Margie. It is our choice what we do with our goals. You're given that one. And a lot of times people just give up on themselves. The reason a lot of people don't accomplish things is not because of the system, and it's not because, somebody else told them, or, maybe their family background and stuff like that. Those are factors which influence. They do. They influence and they stop people from thinking in the way that they should. But unless you're living under a dictatorship or a totalitarian or communist society, and you're living in a free society or free country, the only thing that's stopping you is you. You know, I mean, even in totalitarian societies and dictatorships and communist regimes, there's still people that have fought, that have pushed, that have clawed and scratched to the way they needed to go. And in saying that, you wonder, you say, wow, if somebody can succeed and grow in a war-torn country, if they can be like Tupac said, the rapper Tupac, if they can become the rose that grew in the concrete, how much more could you or I become, living in a freer society, living in a society where you still have the freedom of speech or Second Amendment rights for for the people who care about that stuff, and and all other rights that people don't even think about, the civil liberties or whatever the case. How much more could you accomplish if you have more of a free range of movement? And people forget that. Sometimes people take their rights and their abilities and their range of movement for granted, because it is that for now. You do have that freedom in the spot that you're in for now. Why not take advantage of it? Why not, praise people who break the chain of negativity? Yes, yes. You could be the person that break that chain. You never know. You never know. But I believe everybody's here for a reason. You just have to know that why, and then you have to remember it, because people always ask the question. Even now, it's one of the most common questions. Why am I here? What am I here to do? If you believe in God, oh God, why this? Why am I here? Freedom is a privilege. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah. you know um and the funny thing is, people get told why. People get shown why. A lot of folks have been blessed to have their purpose revealed to them. Too many people find all excuses for blame. Yeah, that too. That too. People find excuses to blame each and every other thing. It's just like what I said with the Shakespeare quote. The fault lies not in our stars, but in ourselves. What that quote means is basically that people are trying to find fault in the stars, in the world, in the planet, in the trees, in other folks, instead of looking at themselves and saying, well, maybe it's something that I need to do to push forward and not get caught up in this nonsense and this negativity or whatever the case may be. But it does come to a point where there are times when we do find out our purpose and we do know why we're here. And then sometimes still people make excuses, because what happens is it may be easier to be mediocre, or maybe easier to just drift through life and be under the radar and stuff like that, and live, I don't want to say a meaningless life, but live a subpar life. And you could do that. You could let that happen. Um, yeah, man in the mirror, bestow upon me the knowledge of the Most High, please. Well, the Most High would have to bestow the knowledge upon you of the Most High. All I could do is just relate a message. Remember why you're here. Don't be afraid to go after it. Know that things are going to take time. It requires patience. It requires understanding. It requires being real and truthful and honest with yourself. Each day. Really just having reminders. Having keys and cues to move and push you forward in the way that you should go. And it's really up to you. Tim S. I figure you to rise above the temptation of violence and negativity. It's not easy sometimes. Yeah, yeah, it's really not easy. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it and make it seem like, yeah, oh no, it's okay. Just go along and work it out and just spin around 3 times and say a prayer or something, and that's gonna be it. Nah, it takes a lot more. It's a daily thing. We have to die daily to the negativity. So it's really a choice, whether or not you want to. But like I said, a lot of people get lost is because they forget why they do what they do. Some people wake up and get so inundated with all the responsibilities, the stresses, the rat race, the negativity that's out there, that they forget why they woke up. Life is endurance. I agree with you, Margie. It is about endurance. It is about stretching forward. It's about reaching forward, clawing and scratching and going after it. The question is, do you want to go after it? Do you want to face life? Do you want to be realistic with yourself? And you'll find out the answer to these questions. But the question is, will you even be realistic with yourself about that? And that's something that comes, or you'll see in time, or you won't see in time. I tell people out there, if you don't accomplish the things that you set out to accomplish, the things that you really want to do, don't be surprised when you're not really where you need to be. Anytime I don't accomplish something and I look at what I've done and what I've contributed to the situation, then I say to myself, if I'm being real, I say, okay, the reason I'm not where I'm at is because maybe I got distracted, maybe something happened, maybe I didn't push further enough or hard enough for what it is that I said that I wanted. Because if you really care about something as bad as you say you do, you're willing to do what you need to do to get there and push forward and get to that particular space and time. And in that note, it's 25 minutes into the live stream. And I appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate those folks that came through. I appreciate the people that left the thumbs up. I appreciate the people that commented in the video. I appreciate you all more than you know, more than I can express. And in closing, I say, remember your why. Have a blessed day, Molly 1K Dolly. I appreciate you for being here. Tim S420, Margie, Slayer, anybody that's been lurking in the background. Thank you for people that came through. Much love, much respect to you all. Hopefully you have a great day. Peace out to you as well. Yeah, remember your why. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Hold on, let me sip some tea for you. Mm, that's so good. And I was trying to let it go to the 26 mark. Yeah, God bless you as well. Woo! There you go. 26 minutes. I'm going.